So earlier today, Expansive Worlds revealed all 9 of the Wild Boar Great One fur variations with this image, and just at first glance, immediately, they look really, really cool. And in reading through the patch notes, there are, of course, you see the different kind of tusk variations. There is going to be true rack influence on those tusks. So not only do you have the ones that are kind of more vertical, the ones that go back, the big like spears that kind of go forward, and then on the far right there in the bottom, that big tusk that kind of loops back and super, super tall coming up towards like the top jaw. There should be different, looks to those based on that true rack's influence. So I wanted to mention that because I think that is a huge deal. This is the first non-antlered or horned great one that does have true rack influence. So really, really cool to see that. But what we are here for is the fur variations themselves. So let's start with the top left there, one of the ones we get to see really up close, the Fabled Stripple. It's obviously got kind of a piebald look to it, that black and white. It appears to have a pretty decent, I don't know if mane is the right word, but that's going to be the word I use here. Coming from the forehead, kind of back, razorback-esque, and there's one further on that we'll look at that really kind of has that look. But I love the kind of black and white look to it there. Like I said, super piebald-esque. Moving over to the far right, we have the Fabled Brindle. You notice too there with the tusks, these upper tusks, they're a little bit thicker towards the bottom, and they lean way back. But I really, really like that as well. You can't see the backs of them, and I wonder, are they hiding something cool, like a cool pattern or whatever to that? Or is it going to be kind of similar throughout? Either way, really like that look, and maybe slightly shaggier kind of hair on that one than on the Stripple. Now we move down to the bottom left, the Fabled Scorch. There's a naming theme with these, and you'll kind of notice that as we go along. He's got scars on his shoulders, scars towards the back end, really kind of red fur up on the face, and then you go up to the back, and it's a lot darker fur. Really, really cool looking board. He's got those kind of vertical tusks too, and this is the one that I was talking about that's kind of got that razorback look with the fur going all the way along his spine. Moving on to D, the Fabled Stitch. He's got, for the fallow deer, Fabled painted vibes all over him. Really, really similar, that kind of like orange-red color with the darker splotches. Again, big like full fur like on the forehead and going up to the back. You can't see along the backs of really any of these other ones, so I guess that will remain to be seen. One that I think is probably going to be underrated, and I really can't wait to see it like in-game walking around on the map, Fabled Ash, E. It's not quite white. I'd almost say like an off-white color, like a ash that's all kind of like burnt. And then you've got the darker browns kind of throughout there. His tusks look, I guess, similar to like the Stripple and the Scorch. Pretty upright. Fairly normal there. And again, I can't wait to see the true rack influence on what's going to happen there, or true tusk influence, you might say. Moving on to the Fabled Smolder, and I imagine by now kind of fire, you've probably noticed is the naming theme for a lot of these anyway. He's maybe the most common looking boar. Some reds and kind of like browns throughout the face, up on the top, going down the back. Looks like some on the shoulder maybe too, but you can't see like all the parts from like the shoulder back. Cool looking pig for sure, a little bit thicker tusks no doubt than the prior one. Getting into, I think, the cooler tusks. Moving on to G, the Fabled Cinder. Almost the inverse of the ash. Some white fur up under the chin and going up onto the head. You can see it on the belly for sure. And you can notice all these have like big like bellies. I think they're going to be really good size hogs. We obviously don't have them next to a normal wild boar to be able to compare. But my guess is these things are going to be really big looking at the models. Like you've got all that fur like up around the forehead and on the back. That's going to make them appear even larger. And I can't wait to see the weight estimate for some of these things. And I wonder if they'll do what they've done with a couple of great ones in the past. Multiple different estimates. Black bear, I think tar and fallow deer can have 2 different great one estimates. Hopefully wild boar will be that too. I'd love to see like 400 or 500 kilo, just a monster, Hogzilla kind of thing. Now, we get into my favorite 2 in this. We have the Fabled Butterscotch. It reminds me of the Dawnbreak wolf that we got. Like, it's got that gold color, like wolves. Most likely will be grinding at night, because of course wild boar drink midnight to 3 a.m. I believe on every map that they exist on. That is going to stand out, like, so well. Whether you're grinding them at night, in the daylight, whatever, you will know immediately that you've got something special on your map when that guy shows. And again, he's got all that fur up on the forehead and going down the back too. He looks like he maybe has some razorback aspect going on there. I'm kind of reading into it, but I see more fur continuing back than I do on the couple of prior ones. And then, finally, Fabled Chalk. This might be my favorite combo overall. Maybe throw those tusks on the Scorch C there, and you know, we can have a conversation, but huge tusks going back and upright. A ton of fur up on the forehead and going down the back. He's got basically black face, nose going down the underbelly and stuff, and then a lot lighter coloration going from the forehead and down onto the sides. I can't wait to see the back, basically, to see like what the hind end of him looks like, but super cool looking wild boar. And I mentioned the tusks. That's got to be my favorite tusk. Now the butterscotch, prior to him, he's got those big almost spear tusks coming straight forward. That would be a nasty one to tango with. And of course we did see too with the cinder, those have that big curl to them. It reminds me a lot of the Hunter Classic. Lots of different tusk variations here, and I don't think this is just like, you know, one basic tusk variation and then Truax, you know, has its influence. I think it's multiple different variations, and you'll have Truax influence on that. Really cannot wait to see what these guys look like in game. I'm walking around here in Scotland Early Access, just kind of taking a look. I will give you what is my favorite lake. Down here in like the south center of the map, there are a bunch of wild boar zones here. It actually is better approach from the side that the pigs are on right now, but there was that level 3. So I think we'll probably go ahead and try to take him out. Moving right along down there. And for now, we have the 7 mil. Just got to his drink zone. I'm gonna pop that and take that down. And what I want to do is just kind of quickly compare him to some of these fabled furs. But my goodness, they look super cool. One of the cool things about doing a pig species as a great one is there is so much variety just in real life furs for wild boar and feral hogs and things like that. So it's almost limitless, the possibilities, and I think they've nailed this. Like, no two of these look very similar at all. Maybe the chalk and the cinder a little bit, but even that, it's inverse in a lot of ways. The cinder almost has like a javelina look to it too, like the colored peccary coming right just a little further up. Just really cool looking animals. And there's some of these here that I don't even know that I can pick a favorite one. But here lays our probably only kill of the day, going to be a brown fur type wild boar. And you can see like the difference in the tusks. That's one of the things I really wanted to highlight. These are okay tusks, mostly coming out horizontal. The great ones have monster tusks. Even the ones that aren't like quite as impressive, still coming up all the way pretty much to the top of the nose. You see the bottom tusks are breaking the top jawline. Like, they're going to be really impressive. And again, like that fur up on the forehead coming down the back, really going to make a massive difference. Man, maybe it's, and I had this problem with the wolves too because their reveal was similar. Maybe it's because that stripple is, you know, a little bit bigger in the image. It shows more of the detail, but man, that and maybe the tusks on eye there, the chalk, that would be incredible. But there's going to be so many cool combos, and I cannot wait to get after these things. By the way, we're going to be live streaming here in, by the time this video comes out, probably an hour or something like that. We're going to be setting up our Great One Wild Boar grind, and let's see what happens. Maybe we can get insanely lucky. Either way, the process starts today. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching. Looking forward to seeing what you guys find out here on Scotland or whatever map you choose to grind on for the Great One Wild Boar tomorrow. The update, the map, the Great One Boar, all that comes out tomorrow. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.